All right, guys, welcome to the SLC Dunk post-game show. My name's Hanson James, and the Jazz lost, and it's frustrating, and I know how you all feel, and we talked about this in the SLC Punks podcast. I hope you all have gone to iTunes and have searched SLC Punks podcast and given us a follow, because you could learn more about the Utah Jazz and the NBA by going there and listen to me if you like listening to me. If not, then, you don't have to do that. But you know what? It's a free country, and you can do things that you want. And you know what else? The Jazz are free to maybe make a few more buckets in these games. They just can't. And you know what, though? This might be the best course of action for the Utah Jazz. Every single hour that goes by that the Jazz don't make a trade for Nikola Mirotic is more likely that the Jazz don't get Nikola Mirotic. This is an Indiana Pacers team who honestly is very good. They've got very good players. Victor Oladipo is looking really nice as that number 2 pick, and they have some nice pieces. And they also kind of look like the Indiana Warriors in the first half, which is, in the long run might be good for the Jazz, because you know what? You know what the best thing for this team is getting more talent. And you know what the best way is for the Jazz to get talent is through the draft. And anyone who thinks otherwise, you might be a little delusional. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell the people that get angry when we talk about the T word. Shay Turley, who you said the T word, it ends with ank, and it doesn't start with st. It starts with t. The Jazz, they need to lose a lot of games right now. They just need to. The Jazz have a chance to get a really nice player to go in the starting lineup. Some people mentioned during the game, well, we got to make some changes to the starting lineup. You know what the Jazz need to do? Nothing. They need to just go out with the players they have, and what happens is what needs to happen. And right now we're seeing that the Jazz right now aren't very good, and that's fine. Because you know what happens? When you're not very good, you get really nice players. And you know what happens when you give Dennis Lindsey a top 10 pick in the NBA draft? Magic will happen. I promise you. Donovan Mitchell was a number 13 pick. You give Dennis Lindsey a top 10 pick and he has more access to better players, I promise you he's picking the right guy. He is. I saw on Twitter we were talking about the starting lineup too. Like, you know what'll make this starting lineup better? Dante Exum getting healthy. Rudy Gobert getting healthy. Donovan Mitchell continuing to be the rookie of the year, best rookie in the NBA, superstar in the making. And then a top 10 pick to play with them. Someone who can complement Donovan Mitchell and play for 7 years with the Jazz. That's what the Jazz need. I don't know why anyone would be all that bummed about what's going on with the Utah Jazz. Shout out to everyone who knows what's going on and are fine with it. If you're freaking out and getting your feelings hurt because the Jazz are losing games, then I don't know what to tell you. You might want to go to SLC Dunk and read the articles. You don't necessarily have to just watch the train wreck that sometimes is going on, but we kind of knew this would happen too. Thabo Sefolosha is hurt. Rudy Gobert is hurt. Dante Exum is hurt. There's not a lot the Jazz can do. Derek Favors is on an expiring contract. Who's giving a lot for Derek Favors when you can just get him in free agency? Why would you do that? Unless a team wants to give the Jazz a big contract, a bad one, and then have Derek Favors come on their team and fall off, you're not giving a lot for Derek Favors. I'd be angry if I was the Jazz and I was getting a player that was for 1 year and then was going to be gone the next year. I mean, that's just common sense. That would be silliness. And so don't expect the Jazz to do a lot. If they do anything, it's going to be to bring on draft assets, not players, draft assets. Maybe a Cleveland freaks out and just, panics and goes after Derek Favors. That'd be amazing. We'll take your Brooklyn pick, but everything we've heard is that Brooklyn pick isn't for sale, So the only pick the Jazz are going to really have is our own, and you want that to be as good as possible. And that sucks. It's more fun to win. It's definitely more fun to have the Jazz going to the playoffs. Last year was a blast. Game-winning shot from Joe Johnson and moving to the second round of the playoffs and everything. That was a blast. That's not really realistic to expect of this team with 3 of our rotation players hurt. Exum, Rudy, and now Thabo Sefolosha, who's arguably our best power forward. Because Derek Favors is a center. So it is what it is, guys. I wish the Jazz were winning more games. I also wish I had hair. But you know what? There's a reality to situations. You see me on camera, I'm 5'8". I wish I was 6 feet tall. I'm not. It's okay. My wife still loves me. I'm going to have my 4th kid in May. Things worked out for me. It's going to work out for the Jazz too. And things will work out for you too. You just never give up. All right, guys? Just never give up. That's the key. You know what? Also, Indiana's just really good. They're a really good team. And losing to Indiana is not a big deal. Like, Victor Oladipo's turned into the player we kind of expected him to be. He's really flourishing in Indiana, and they have nice players around him. They have, I was actually kind of excited to watch the Indiana Pacers because honestly, they're just not on national TV a lot. Just kind of like the Jazz are a little bit. We just don't get a lot of exposure. But I finally got to watch Victor Oladipo. Sabonis was a really nice pickup for them also. That trade has turned out to be really nice for Indiana. And they've just got nice role players around him. Darren Collison's a nice player. If you want to win games, you pick up players like Darren Collison to be your backup point guard or your starting point guard, whatever. So I don't know. I wouldn't be too frustrated if I'm a Jazz fan. I'd actually be more excited because Donovan Mitchell got buckets and the Jazz got a loss. That's kind of like what you want to happen. If Donovan Mitchell goes to the All-Star game or becomes Rookie of the Year or dunk contest, it's going to be a blast. It's really awesome. We got to watch Donovan Mitchell do incredible, crazy things. Like that Julius Erving hook shot thing he did was incredible. And guess what? When Donovan Mitchell has a little more space, when Exum comes back, he's going to score more points. It's incredible. Donovan Mitchell is an insane talent, and we got to watch him every night. And we're in the best situation possible because you know what the Jazz did? They avoided tanking. If we didn't have Donovan Mitchell this year, we would be even worse. And we would be trying to build with a superstar like Donovan Mitchell next year. So basically, the Jazz fast forwarded a year, and now we have Donovan Mitchell. So next year, we get to add another nice player, and already we're ready to go. You just build. There's no tank. There's no tear down. There's just a build process. So it's incredible. Dennis Lindsay is incredible for getting Donovan Mitchell. Just every single day, we're going to talk about it, and it's fine. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar, and we got him. We get to enjoy him every game. Joe Rossi, I'm down to tank, but it's hard to imagine this team losing the way they have been intentional. That's embarrassing. I mean, you know what, guys? The Jazz haven't traded anyone to be worse. We just had injuries. We talk about tanking. The Jazz aren't really tanking. They're just not winning, and they lost most of their players to injury. And we lost Gordon Hayward and George Hill. It's rough. Tanking is like what the Sixers did when Thaddeus Young, who now ironically is on the Pacers and was like playing like freaking Kevin Durant tonight, but like that was their best player. They traded away Thaddeus Young to be bad. The Jazz haven't traded anyone to be intentionally bad. The Jazz aren't really tanking. They just lost a lot of players to injury, and at this point, they're not going to try to be better because there's no point. So I guess if you want to say that's tanking, then yeah, maybe. But they're just not trying to be better. They're just going to be what we are and get better next year. Let's see. Serge Depoyan, if teams are going to make super teams and go to the finals every year, then we should also make our own super team via draft. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Exactly. That's the best way you're going to get players. And honestly, the only player that the Warriors got through free agency was Durant, and that was a surprise. They built that entire team through the draft. You're exactly right. That's how you do it. Hard to win if your main gunners can't shoot. Exactly. And that's from Jeff Shotoko Maluenda. Yes, that's exactly true. Like, Jazz not hitting shots, but it's also hard to win when 2 of your best starters are out, Dante Exum and Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert's probably our best player this year. And Donovan's going to make a run to be that. Donovan's our best player next year, which is insane. Rubio is bad. He's a good guy and all, but he's a bad basketball player. He does nice things. I wouldn't say he's a bad basketball player. I would say he's a bad shooter, but I wouldn't say he's a bad basketball player. He's got a good handle. He passes well. He defends. He plays really hard. He's a smart player. He does have some turnovers that are frustrating, but he's a good player. He's a bad shooter, Anyways, guys, I don't got a lot else to say. I like the Indiana Pacers uniforms too. It's got like an 80s vibe, which is fun. You know me, I'm all about the 8-bit and the 80s and all this stuff. So really cool uniforms with the Pacers, by the way. And you know what else is cool? We get to see the new uniforms soon. That's going to be really fun. the new court and everything. One final question. Joe Rossi, thank goodness for the newest CBA making it easier for smaller market teams to retain players. Exactly. We got Donovan Mitchell for 7 years. We're going to get our top 10 pick next year for 7 years. Let's hope it's Doncic. You know, maybe we'll get a leap in the draft. If not, whatever. We're going to get a nice player because Dennis Lindsey's an amazing drafter. You know, anyways, like and subscribe to this, guys. Talk to me all the time. Type the comments. I read them. If you're a troll, then you know what? Go jump in a river because you're annoying. If you like SLC Dunk, go to slcdunk.com. Of course you like SLC Dunk. You're watching this video. Go to slcdunk.com. Read everything. Go to SLC Dunk on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Read all the stuff we do. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us. If you like me, my name is Hansen James, HANSENJAMES. You can follow me on Twitter. I love to hear from you. I'm always ready to talk because I love basketball and I love you guys and I love SLC Dunk and it's all it's all good. Adam Raking. So encore. One more question. It's always next year. We can never try for this year. It's always had to be next year. Every time we lose someone, just retreat. Never try to pass on and show you can still make it. I'm a little confused by that, honestly. You know what? Like we would have been really good this year if Gordon Hayward didn't leave and George Hill was smart and didn't give up on like $40 million. You know, not a lot you can do when players make silly decisions like that. But what are you gonna do? Jazz had to try to get Gordon Hayward. They had to try. You can't always be just giving up. You have to take some risks, and they took a risk to get Gordon, and it didn't work out. But we got Donovan Mitchell, and he's amazing, and I think that's a reason to be happy. Would you rather have Donovan Mitchell been mediocre and we kind of make an 8th seed, or would you rather the Jazz stink and Donovan Mitchell's a superstar? I think we'd all take the latter option. So, anyways, guys, talk to you later.